How's it going? It is Charles Botensten here at Botensten Properties International. I just wanted to give a personalized video to you who's looking to potentially work at BPI. So I'm the founder of Botensten Properties International, and essentially we've created something that I've always wanted, a certain culture, a certain type of training system, a certain type of ongoing meeting and personalized goal setting for all the agents that work at BPI. And it's really considered since 2009 when I started, just a collaboration of just daily things that I would be doing different if I was the manager when I was an agent. So number one is a little story about when I started. So I started in 2009. It was the beginning of 2009. And I remember walking in first day like it was yesterday. So I walk into the agency and I'm fresh out of real estate school. I just got licensed. I'm super excited. So I go to the manager. Hey, how's it going? Good, good. So the manager goes, take this map. Here are a list of buildings. Go out, go to each building, go to the doorman, tell him, listen, hey, I'm looking to see a bunch of apartments. Go see those apartments, preview the apartments, see the size, see the layout, get an idea of the pricing, who maybe you could rent it to. I said, okay, great. So this is the financial district. It looks like it's like spaghetti. I got lost about 15 times. It took me 6 hours. Through the 15 buildings, I saw probably 8 apartments. And I go back, I'm exhausted. I go to my manager and I go, hey, how's it going? I saw about 8 apartments. He goes, great, great. We're done for the day. I'm like, done for the day? He goes, yeah, we're done for the day. I'm like, okay. So he goes, here's a guide. Go home, read this guide, and come back tomorrow. I say, okay, great. So I go home, I read the guide 3 times, I come back, I soak up as much information as I can. I see him at 8:30 in the morning. I say, hey, how's it going? I'm here. And he goes, great, great. I'm a little bit busy right now. Can we talk at lunch? I'm like, okay. So what do you want me to do? He goes, go sit down at the computer, go through some listings, find out the pricing, the location, and just get familiar with the systems. I'm like, okay, great. Lunchtime comes around, I go to him. He goes, I'm still a little bit busy, maybe in about an hour. I go, okay. So we met for about a half an hour that day, and then we met about an hour the next day, and then maybe 2 hours the following day. And all in all, at the end of the month, I walked up, I said, I kind of need some money. You know, I went through a whole month. I felt like I could have learned a lot more. I could have been a little bit more busy, a little bit more productive. And he said, okay, great. Why don't you go out, tell all of your family members, tell all of your friends that you're in real estate. I'm like, all right, great. I already did that, but I'll do it again. So he said, all right. So what I noticed is that it's not on the manager. It's not on the company. It's really on the systems that were in place. And there really weren't any systems that were directly telling someone a scheduled when it's a new hire, this is what they do. Through all of these trials and tribulations, which is the height of the recession when I started, through now, which is boom time, I've noticed a bunch of things. Number one is that systems need to be in place when you get a new client. There needs to be systems when you get a new listing, when you close on a transaction, when you meet a referral, when you get a referral, when you give a referral. All these things that I never learned, but I have learned. So that's number one. Number two is there's a culture, whether you create it or not, if you intentionally create it or not, there is always a culture. There is either a positive culture, there's either a negative culture, there's a collaborative culture, there's a everyone's out for themselves kind of culture. Every single business, every single company has that. As long as there's more than one person, there is a culture in that company. I've noticed in the real estate industry, it's very individualized because that's how you build your book of business. But at BPI, what we're building here is a collaborative culture, and it really starts at the top. And that's number 3. As the leader, you need to be able to set the culture, set through osmosis what the other agents and other people surrounding you should act, how they talk, what they eat. Do they exercise? Do they hold themselves well? Do they dress sharp? Are they enthusiastic and happy and positive? You know, this starts from the top. I cannot have someone do something that I'm not already doing myself. If I'm not wearing a suit, how can I expect an agent to be wearing a suit? How can I expect an agent to come in early if I'm not coming in early, if I'm not getting the work done, if I'm lazy, if I'm negative? That's where it starts from. It starts from the top. And I understand that. Is that through incredible habits that I've just day by day have just refined, and I am continuously refining. I'm the biggest student in the world to refining systems to be a better person, a better manager, a better leader, a better agent. You know, I do things, I wouldn't, as I mentioned, do things, I wouldn't ask an agent to do things that I wouldn't do myself. I'm here early. I wake up at 5 o'clock every single day. I'm at the gym and done by 6:30. I'm at work at 7. I start preparing for the day. I look at the top 3 things that I want to do, the goals that I have for the company, for myself in the future, short term and long term. By 8 o'clock, I'm already ready. Agents see that. People see that. They enjoy it. And they understand because I'm doing it and I'm living it and there's a success behind it. They say, maybe I should try that. There's also another thing is that I will not ask an agent to do something that I haven't done and I haven't done and know will work. I'm not going to say, well, you should try this unless I've actually tried it. They also get that if I don't get everything during the day, I stay later. Even when I'm not in the most motivated mood, I still write notes. I still make the phone calls that I need to. I still visit the clients that I need to. I still take the meetings that I need to. I do what's necessary to get the work done. And through that culture, yes, it's collaborative, and I understand that each agent, it's very individualized, but what I'm building, or what we're building, I should say, because I receive as much feedback from agents as I learn from the book a week that I read. I read a book a week. I'm hopefully going to get a little bit more, maybe one every 4 days or 5 days or something like that. But from these books, I've gathered so much information about what top leaders have done, and it's an even playing field. And what I can contribute it to is one thing is that what we're building here at BPI is not an army. And an army, I mean a vast amount of agents. We're not looking for a big turnover. We're building Navy SEALs. We're building operatives, individual agents that have the confidence to go out on their own, that are independent, that have seen this before. Even if they haven't seen, they've heard me discuss it before, a situation. They know how to reply. They reply correctly, and then they calibrate based on that reply. Was it a good reply? Should I do something different next time? From there, that spreads to each other agent. And that's essentially what we're building. We're not looking to build this huge conglomerate where I don't know any of the agents that were just hired. What we're building is each person, personalized goals. Do you want to spend more time with your family? Perfect. We'll make your workday a little bit shorter. We'll make sure that your schedule and your goals align with that. That lead generation and referrals are still your top of your mind, and appointments are taken on the exact departments that need to be taken, while also servicing your clients in other needs. It's a culture that you prioritize your tasks and you get the most important things done. You put out the fires, but you also have your long-term goals of keeping in front of clients. Listen, this is a relational company. Most agencies, most agents are transactional. They do the transaction, you never hear from them again. We're a relational business. We're obviously there before the transaction. We're there during the transaction, obviously. But most importantly, we're there after the transaction. And that's really where our value comes in, is after the transaction, when you have to meet with the board because you want renovations. You need a contractor for those renovations. You need a mechanic for those renovations. You need someone to walk your dog, to babysit. Whatever the case is, we are a network. And through that network is where our customer satisfaction comes from. 80% of our business comes from referrals. And essentially that is the culture that we're building at BPI. So if you are fun, you are positive, you are enthusiastic, you want to learn, you're open to learning, and whether you're a new agent or you're an established rock star, we're all here. We're looking to hear from you, and just give us an email. We'll get back to you. We wish you the best of luck.